Little ball in play there for McClare again. A goal for Manchester United. Brian McClare, made by Ryan Giggs.
Zaha's got Ronaldo free on the right. This could really clinch it. Ronaldo! 3-0 United. There is no doubt now that there's a trophy coming back to Old Trafford this season.
It's Anderson. It is the Carling Cup.
Yeah.
Manchester United have yet more silverware. You can clear some room in the trophy cabinet. We're bringing another one home. Into Berbatov, back to Valencia. Cute play this from United. Rooney looking for the finish and finding it. Wayne Rooney, he's addicted to goals. And United create history. Ibrahimovic! That could be that. That guy is lethal. And it might well be the winning goal with just moments to spare.
The fans are starting to arrive at Old Trafford ahead of tonight's third-round Carabao Cup tie versus League One side Rochdale. Just 20 miles separates the Crown Oil Arena, more commonly known as Spotland, from Old Trafford. So it's a short trip for the 6,000 Dale fans who will definitely be making sure they're heard tonight. These two teams have only met once before, back in 1986. I don't remember it because I wasn't born. I'm told United ran out 2-0 victors that day, and the current crop of United players will want to emulate or better that tonight. I think we're safe to say we can expect a youthful look to Ollie's team selection, and we'll bring you that team news in half an hour's time. Welcome to Old Trafford. I'm joined with Ben Thornley. Ben, what are your expectations tonight against Rochdale?
Well, first and foremost, Sam, a win. I think it's imperative that United get back on the winning trail. We know there are going to be a few changes in the personnel this evening, but they're going to have to get back, like I said, on the winning trail sooner rather than later. Winning breeds confidence. At the moment, confidence must be fairly low. It was a real sort of dismal showing against West Ham on Sunday, and couple that with a poor result. Some would argue that it's the perfect game tonight for at home against a lower league opposition to get back to winning ways.
Yeah, well, obviously we don't know the starting lineup as of yet. As soon as we get it, we'll bring it to you. Would you expect to see a young lineup tonight?
I would expect quite a few of the players that appeared against Astana last Thursday to take to the field tonight. I think with the fact that Ollie is a little bit light at the moment in terms of numbers. We obviously had Marcus Rashford going off injured against West Ham as well. I think it's a perfect scenario for him to be able to blood those youngsters again, show that they've got the temperament and the mentality to be able to deal with occasions playing at Old Trafford in a different competition, and obviously making sure that we can get through unscathed.
And of course, this is a cup competition. We know how dangerous they can be. We saw Tottenham go out last night in a bit of a shock. Will the players have seen that and be thinking, that's not going to be us?
Yeah, they have to. Yeah, they have to, because I'm pretty sure that the team that Mauricio Pochettino put out last night at Colchester would have been saying exactly the same thing, that it's not going to be us. And it happens, and it does. It happens season in, season out in all competitions, certainly domestically. There's always going to be a shock in the early rounds of the Carabao Cup, in the early rounds of the FA Cup. And Manchester United, it's another trophy. They have to make sure that they're not a casualty.
From United's perspective, is it almost perfect that happened last night? Because it's like ideal inspiration for the players today.
Yeah, of course. They will all be sitting there today thinking, what happened to Spurs cannot happen to us, because obviously there's going to be fallout from that in North London. There was a defeat in the previous game against Leicester. They were a goal up. They were 2 goals up in Europe and didn't end up winning the game. And obviously now they've been knocked out by a lower division side, albeit away from home. They would have been one that they would expect to come through comfortably, and they didn't, and they're out, and that's one less trophy that they're going to fight for. These lads here tonight have to make sure that they don't treat Rochdale with complacency and go out and do what a lot of them have been doing in the 23s, because we are going to see some of those lads, and the rest of the lads who take to the field make it a performance that these fans will go away from here remembering for positives rather than for negatives.
Well, fingers crossed it's full of positives. We're going to go now to Stuart Gardner.
Yeah, just the second time ever that Manchester United have faced Rochdale. Go back to the FA Cup in 1986 for the only other time that it happened. So a special night in the history of Rochdale, who already had to get through 2 rounds to get this far, including knocking out Bolton Wanderers. They didn't have very far to come, and they can make a bit of cash as well. So a big night for Rochdale, but also what a big night for Manchester United, because this is a competition, as we well know, that is well worth winning. United 5 times winners, the last time just a couple of years ago in 2017. And if United do make it through tonight, the draw for the 4th round is later on this evening. Fingers crossed United can get there. This is where we went out of the competition a year ago. You remember that rather painful penalty shootout defeat against Derby here at Old Trafford. Penalties after 90 minutes. Let's hope that's not even a factor. It's going to be interesting to see the Manchester United lineup. I suspect it would be something similar to the one we saw against Astana in the UEFA Europa League around a week ago. The manager has already said that Paul Pogba is going to get some minutes tonight. That'll be important. What a big miss he is for Manchester United when he doesn't play. So hopefully we'll see some of Paul Pogba tonight, and also hopefully we'll see some youngsters as well, the likes of James Garner, the likes of Brandon Williams, players who've been doing well in the under-23s. It's so important, though, Manchester United get through and get back to winning ways after the disappointment of West Ham at the weekend. A little while to go until we play again next Monday here against Arsenal. So I'd expect plenty of changes from the West Ham game. Still a strong Manchester United side. Mason Greenwood, of course, got the winner against Astana. Hopefully the 17-year-old will be ready tonight. It's going to be special, as we mentioned, for Rochdale, and Ollie Rathbone, the former Manchester United youth player. Remember, scored an absolute screamer that was United's goal of the month a couple of years ago. 4 seasons he's been at Rochdale. He's a certain starter for them. It's the usual mix, really, of lone players, of veterans and promising youngsters. They've got a 16-year-old who may well be playing at right back in Matheson. At the other end of the scale, at 34, Henderson up top, who is Rochdale royalty. Tends to get 20 goals a season in League One. He'll want to do well. So it's something of a mishmash. But there, of course, important for them is staying in League One. Brian Barry Murphy used to be a player at Rochdale and Bury. He's now a manager, the man from Cork, where there are plenty of Manchester United fans as well. So we're looking forward to this one. 8 o'clock start at Old Trafford. United against Rochdale, just the 2nd time ever. Now, a player who will certainly want to be involved tonight is Angel Gomez. Played against Astana a week ago. He impressed in pre-season. We've been chatting to him ahead of this League Cup tie.
First of all, Angel, Astana and the game there, a good victory in the end, hard work in the end.
Yeah, a lot of positives from the game. We'd like to score more goals, but that's something we're working on. It's a team that's a lot of players haven't played a lot this season, and a few of us, it was our first competitive start and a few minutes for us to get out there, so I think it was really good.
And how much did you enjoy that experience being in the team?
Yeah, of course. It's what we work and what we train for, so whenever we get the opportunity, everyone will try and grasp it as much as possible. Was it as you'd expected? We knew they'd sit deep and be hard to break down. Yeah, I knew. We watched their clips and we knew it'd be like that, and we tried to break them down as much as possible. We tried to create as many chances. We had a few that didn't come off, but we'll take that into the next game and hopefully finish a lot more of the chances we create.
And how much did playing in the UEFA Youth League as a youngster help you for that experience?
Yeah, of course. Growing up and throughout the age groups, we've played in a lot of international tournaments and had experience playing against different teams, so it's not something that we're not used to. We've played against teams from all over Europe, so it's always a good test.
You played very well, very positive reaction to your performance. How did you feel you did?
Yeah, I thought I did okay. I tried to get into pockets, tried to go forward when I could and create chances. Just personal goals to try and create a few more, try and get a goal for myself or make a decisive pass to create into a goal.
You showed off your skills, didn't you, at times, some lovely work on the ball. Is that something that comes with confidence and playing?
Yeah, that comes with confidence, that comes with obviously more game time and more opportunity to show, and it's something that you can expect from the coming games.
And is the manager one to put that confidence in you? He knows you've got those skills, doesn't he?
Yeah, of course. As you can see with the team he played, the front three is young, well, the front four, including Marcus as well. all young, all hungry, willing to work hard.
Did that help you, knowing the players you were playing with in attack there?
Yeah, of course. I've played with Mason from under 9s, really, so it was great for him to see him score as well. And it was obviously great to play with Chongi as well, because I've played with him from the start of under 18, so we all have that understanding and that hunger to try and score.
Sort of picture you posted on social media of Angel when you were very young playing then, weren't you? And it's been a long journey, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been a very long journey. Me and Mason have grew up playing with each other from under 9s, and we've gone on a lot of tournaments. There's a lot more pictures I could have posted there, but I tried to get a few of the other lads in there. You can see Dylan was in it, and Dion and Damani, and yeah, so yeah, it was great. It was great for him to score his first professional goal. He deserves it. He works hard every day, and hopefully a lot more of us can demonstrate that as well.
He's quite level-headed, isn't he, Mason? All the attention on him after scoring that goal, but he'll deal with that the right way, won't he?
Yeah, of course. It's how we've been brought up here at United, and to always be humble and level-headed, and that's how he is, so it'll be okay.
It's great for all you youngsters having that impact. And does the manager go out and tell you to play with freedom, or is it a bit more structured and you have a lot more instruction as well?
It's structured to an extent, but obviously that freedom has to come within yourself. If that's something that's naturally within you, then you show that, and I think the attacking players will try and show that.
Before we go any further, I should say, but I don't know if you've heard the same rumours I have, but it sounds like, and this is unconfirmed, don't know if this is true, Angel Gomez won't be playing today. Don't know if you've heard that.
I haven't, no.
But what do you make of not only his performances so far in the first team, but also Tahith Chong, and obviously the chances that we might see a bit more Mason Greenwood?
I think that they've thoroughly deserved their inclusion, not just in the squad, but certainly in games like we're going to see tonight. They've performed at a consistent high level, not just Angel, but Tahith, Mason, obviously.
Yep.
I'm hoping that we will get to look at James Garner tonight as well.
That was the next question I was going to ask you is, are we going to see James Garner? And for people that maybe haven't seen him in action before, what should they expect? Because there's a lot of hype about him.
There is, and rightly so. I saw James for the first time last year. I think his reading of the game is exceptionally good. He's a tremendous box-to-box midfielder, very agile, quite tall, but he can get up and down. And what we've seen this season, or what I've seen doing my commentary for the under-23s this season, is his ability to score goals as well. He scored some crackers. And I think that he is somebody that a lot of people will have on the tips of the tongues in the future. The lads have done well to get into the team. Obviously, they'll probably expect to perform better the more chances that they get. You can't expect them to come in and be absolute world beaters straight away, but they'll find their feet in this team, and any chances that they get, I'm sure that they'll take with aplomb.
Obviously, the likes of Chong and Greenwood and Gomez, although maybe not Gomez today, played against Astana. And I spoke to Danny Webber about it after the game here, and he was saying, you know, they might be thinking they've not taken that opportunity with both hands. This could be another chance for them to really put their name in the hat for starting Premier League games. It's Arsenal on Monday, and they'll want the manager thinking, well, maybe, why not?
I agree with Danny, yeah. As I said, they will perform better. I didn't think many of them did themselves justice for the players that I know and that I've seen over the last 2 years when they came in against Astana. And it's always going to be difficult. These lads had not played much football as well, and then they come out to Old Trafford in front of 50,000 people in a European match that was imperative that we won and got off to a good start at home. They will perform better. So on that score, I do agree with Danny. But this is another opportunity that some of them are going to get tonight. And yeah, with the injuries that Manchester United have got, you know, sooner or later, these lads are going to have to step into a really, really big arena and a big occasion. And Monday night is one of those against Arsenal, because after previous results and the way Arsenal came back and obviously managed to get 3 points at the weekend, Monday night is an even bigger game still.
Yeah, I was just glancing to make sure we were safe. We got soaked earlier. Right, we're going to throw now to Steve Bennett, who is somewhere inside Old Trafford.
So I'm joined down here in the newly refurbished International Suite with Zach, one of our younger fans. Zach, what are your thoughts on today's match?
Well, hopefully a win. Young side maybe, but Yeah, just not 3 points, but just a win.
Always good to progress in the cup, isn't it? Have a bit of a cup run.
Yeah, obviously trophies. We don't get as much these days, but nice silverware.
How important is it, do you think, for this team to bounce back after the disappointment of West Ham at the weekend?
Yeah, well, it's a disappointing result of the weekend, but obviously we need to bounce back and then keep pushing on to get some more 3 points.
What kind of team do you think Ollie will name today? There's been a lot of talk about it being another youthful side like against Astana here.
Yeah, well, it was a youthful side against Astana, and it got us the win in the end, and Mason Greenwood, exciting young prospect, but yeah, I think another youthful side tonight. Maybe Pogba get a few minutes because on injury, obviously, but yeah, just another young side. Greenwood, Chong, and Gomez isn't in the squad for some reason, but I'd like to see the young lads get out again. Garner, maybe.
There's always something magical, isn't there, about the floodlights here at Old Trafford. Playing in an evening game has a different feel to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, obviously Greenwood scored his first senior goal under the lights in front of the Stratford end, so it's a special feeling.
Prediction-wise then, can we nail you down to one? What do you think is going to happen? Anything could happen in the cup, as they say.
Yeah, well, it wasn't great against Derby last year, but I feel a win tonight. Probably comfortable 3-0 probably, because I think we'll bounce back strong.
And this is a cup competition we know how to win, you know, so do you think that's going to help our lads in there with that kind of mindset?
Yeah, obviously we've got experience of winning the trophy, and hopefully that can inspire the young lads to go on and win.
Absolutely, Zach. Thank you so much. Those are the views of Zach here in the International Suite. Now, we caught up with Joe Thompson this week, a man who started his career at United and went on to play for Rochdale. Here's what he had to say.
Tell me a little bit how you started at Man United, because obviously you did a number of years in the youth system. Tell me a bit how you got there and yeah, how it began.
Well, I was originally born down in Bath and then moved up to here when I was about 8. And then within a couple of months I was playing in a five-a-side tournament, and there happened to be a Man United scout, and he approached my coach and he mentioned it to my mum and had a trial, and yeah, I signed, and that was the start of my footballing journey in a way.
And what are the sort of key fundamentals that you learned, like not as a footballer,
yeah,
as a human being coming through the system at United?
Brilliant, a human being. I think they taught me so much as a man. You know, I think the standards that I set at Manchester United are probably the standards that I try and uphold within my life on a day-to-day basis, whether it's punctuality, the way you present yourself. You know, you're always representing yourself, and you got to make sure you represent yourself in the right way. So for me, as I've gotten older, I've realised what I was taught on the pitch, granted, but also so much off the pitch from the coaches along the way.
Yeah. And what sort of which coaches were there at the time? Is anybody still there?
Tony Whelan.
Yeah, legend.
The handshake.
Oh,
you know.
Your hand's all right.
But my hand now, when I present myself, is a strong handshake. I mean business. So that was always waiting for you, whether it was at the Cliff or whether it was at Carrington later on.
Yeah.
And you used to dread it, didn't you?
You'd have to brace yourself for Tony's handshake.
Here we go.
As a kid, you didn't want to want to wince, but you wanted to,
and Tommy Martin, Paul McGuinness, there's loads. Mark Dempsey was my coach for a long time.
Yeah, he's back with the first team.
Exactly. And I got to speak to Mark a few months ago when I was watching one of the under-23s game. So I can never really thank them enough for what they did teach me on and off the pitch.
So that when you started, so United would have been at the Cliff at the time then, as you say. So you were part of the transition from going from the Cliff to Carrington, which is obviously the training ground now.
Yeah, I think for us at that time, the Cliff was amazing. It was, you know, the legends before us, the class of '92 were doing unbelievable, the treble. But when they won the treble, that took Man United into a whole different stratosphere, you know, commercially as well. And the facilities at Carrington were incredible. So it'd gone from, you know, we talked about the car park and the little names.
I remember.
And you always used to think, I'm going to park in Dwight York's spot or Andy Cole or whoever. And then you go to Carrington, and everything's brand new, shiny, state of the art, and it was incredible. It was my PE teacher that said to me, "Why don't you go down to Rochdale?" I remember I came and I joined in a training session, and I started to enjoy football again. It was obviously a bit better than the rest, and the standard that I was accustomed to meant that when I did drop down, I was able to shine a bit more, even though I was still slight. But I remember looking at the touchline, always playing wide, left or right, and the line being like that, and I'm thinking, what's this groundsman been doing? Like, he can't even get the line straight, but I've been spoilt rotten.
Of course, yeah.
Like I say, best facilities, pitches of carpet at Carrington, and it was a wake-up call, but a timely one in a way, because I found that love for football again.
Well, Joe is our studio guest this afternoon, so you'll see plenty more of him as the show goes on. Ben, quick question for you.
Yes.
We talked about the youth today. What about Paul Pogba? Talk about him being fit enough to play this game, but with Arsenal on the horizon on Monday, would you be starting him? Would you think maybe just give him a few minutes? What would you do?
He's been out for a while, and yes, I would. If he's going to be in the squad, it makes sense. If Ole Gunnar has said that he's going to get some minutes, I can't see Paul Pogba coming from the bench. So if that is the case, I would expect him to start. Whether he plays the full game or not, well, I'm sure depend on the result, depend on how he is. But I think that with Arsenal coming up on Monday night, it would be beneficial for him to get minutes under his belt.
As a player, because as a fan, people say stuff all the time, don't necessarily know what it means. What does it mean to get minutes under your belt in terms of there's a game on Monday, that's not many games away. If he played at the weekend, you'd probably rest him today. Is it just about finding form?
Well, it's not. It is a little bit about finding form, but it's getting up to the speed of how a match needs to be played by your own team, not by the opposition. He's been a top-class player for a long time. He will know what he needs to do to make sure that he's at least ready to take to the field on Monday night. And by coming up against Rochdale, and I'm not going to use the word disparagingly being inferior opposition, but I think they are the perfect opposition for him to get his feet ready, to get his feet sorted, to get his head sorted out, to make sure that he's okay to play on Monday.
No, well, the expectation would be that he would do okay. Rochdale are 53 places below us in the league tiers, so you think he could do something special?
Yeah, well, I think for his own confidence as well. That Manchester United at the moment are looking for players like Paul Pogba to start leading the side. He's an integral part of Manchester United's midfield, and he needs to start showing it on a regular basis, what we all know that he has got in his locker. And if that means him starting tonight and doing it against Rochdale and putting in a convincing performance and making sure that we can come away from here and be in the hat come 10:30 tonight, then so be it.
Perfect. OK, now we're going to have a look at some of the highlights from our memorable Cup run in 2016-2017 when we finished up as winners.
United's EFL Cup campaign begins at League One Northampton. 48 places separate the clubs, but United will be hoping for no slips tonight. Rashford going, putting the goalkeeper under pressure. He's made a terrible miss of it, and Rashford scores. Adam Smith, a horror show. Oh, it was shocking. And Rashford showed his pace, his determination. Too much for Smith, who's had a nightmare tonight. And United on their way to round 4, they lead 3-1.
Fixture that's befitting of a final has come early in this competition, but arguably at a perfect time for these two clubs to pick themselves up after recent disappointment. Rocco's up well, Ibrahimovic turns, and he's in behind here. And he has Herrera in support, and Rashford. It's Herrera who goes down, and Mata scores! Reward for a flying start to the second half, and it's Juan Mata who sweeps it in and sweeps United into the lead. This is the point at which this competition gets really serious. Win tonight, and a two-legged semi-final is the reward. It's a competition that many are quick to knock, and that Jose Mourinho has a habit of winning. Rooney to Schweinsteiger. He's got two in the middle here. One of them's Herrera, and still going, looking for help in the middle, and Ibrahimovic puts the cherry on the top of the icing on top of the cake. And United are going to sail through to the semi-finals of the EFL Cup. Pogba for Valencia. They're queuing up in the middle. Mkhitaryan attacks it, and Mata finds the net. Juan Mata makes the difference right in front of the Stretford end. And that could be the crucial breakthrough that opens the tie-up for United. Martial does well to gather in the ball, and the crossing looks for Fellaini! That's exactly what we needed. Now we can sit a bit easier here at Old Trafford, and it sets United up much better for the second leg. Wembley and Southampton await the winners in a month's time, but before United can think too much about that, there's a job to finish here. Ibrahimovic stays onside. Now Rashford in behind Huddleston, might fall for Pogba! Paul Pogba helps United restore their lead and bursts Hull City's bubble. United are Wembley bound again. The Reds were just too strong for Hull over the two legs, and a showpiece final awaits Jose Mourinho and the team. A journey that started at Northampton Town is going to end under the arch at the home of English football. This cup adventure began with victory under the lights at Northampton. Today it'll end one way or another under the arch against Southampton. Ibrahimovic! Oh, that's fantastic! Give him a chance, he'll get you a goal. And it could be a massive goal.
What a strike that is.
Martial, Rocco, neatly done. Lingard maybe, of course it is! Jesse Lingard, United's Wembley specialist, is at it again. Space for Ward-Prowse maybe. Fizzes that over, and it's in, and it's Manolo Gabbiadini, who's making English football look easy. And it comes from Ward-Prowse.
Oh, good header by Pogba.
Back in again, Pogba misses it, it's in! It's that man again! Gabbiadini! His stunning Southampton start continues, and they're back level. Carrick, Martial. Trying to find a bit of room, there isn't much. There might be some for Herrera though. Dinks it over, Ibrahimovic! That could be that! That guy is lethal! And it might well be the winning goal with just moments to spare. Jose Mourinho delivers a major trophy at the first time of asking, as the EFL Cup belongs to Manchester United.
Ben, we've just seen how good it is to win a trophy. Will these players be thinking this is a competition they can win?
Yeah, of course it is. Brilliant seeing those pictures there, and started at Northampton, finished against Southampton. But they've got to get through tonight first. There's without question only one team playing under pressure, and it isn't going to be Rochdale. But it's important that United get off to a great start, and you never know who they're going to get in the hat in the next round. Another home draw, could be a lower division side, it doesn't matter, but it is a competition that we win, and of course by doing that we're winning games along the way, and that has got to be a good thing.
Okay, so a comfortable victory tonight?
I'm hoping 2 or 3-0, yeah.
We'd take that, wouldn't we? Okay, Ben, who do you think will be the most important player today? We don't know the team yet, but what would your gut tell you?
The most important player for me has got to be Paul Pogba. I feel as though he is going to start, and he is the one person that the rest of the team, judging by what the lineup may be, are going to look to, and we're going to need him to get into that frame of mind and have his boots ready and his feet ready for Monday night.
Okay, thank you, Ben. Well, we'll get that team news right now. So thanks for us. Here's Stuart.
As you'd expect, obviously, wholesale changes from Saturday. In fact, only a couple of players survived from that, Bissaka and also Pereira. But the big news is Paul Pogba is back. How we've missed him after he got injured at Southampton at the end of August. He starts tonight. So let's take a look at this Manchester United lineup. Romero never lets United down in goal. The back four, wan-bassaka, Axel Tuanzebe, special for him against his hometown club, Jones and Rocco. Then we think Pogba and Fred will be the two in the heart of midfield. Ahead of them, Pereira towards the right, Jesse Lingard, Chong on the left, and Mason Greenwood, who missed the West Ham game, but thankfully he's fit. And of course, last time he was here, he scored the winner against Astana. He leads the line. On the bench, Victor Lindelof, Juan Mata, Lee Grant is the sub-goalkeeper, Daniel James, Scott McTominay. Good to see James Garner, the 18-year-old midfielder, and number 53, Brandon Williams. Again, another local teenager who's been excelling at fullback for United's under-23s. It'd be great to see him get an opportunity at some point tonight. Now, this is the Rochdale lineup. They do have a number of defensive injuries, but they've basically gone as strong as they can. Spaniard Robert Sanchez in goal. Back four, 16-year-old Luke Matheson. A lot of hopes for him at right back, and he's just got his GCSE results. Remarkable, isn't it? McNulty, and then we think Jimmy Keohane, who is a full-back really, is going to play centre-back with Norrington Davis at left-back. In midfield, Ollie Rathbone, really special for him, the former United youth player, and Williams, Dooley, also Camps, who's having a good season for Rochdale, and Aaron Morley, and up front through the middle, Mr. Rochdale, Ian Henderson, who's got a fantastic record of scoring basically 20 goals a season for the last 3 campaigns, very nearly Rochdale's record goal scorer. How he will want to score on the big stage tonight. So that is the Rochdale 11, looking to provide a massive shock here at Old Trafford. Probably be heartened by what Colchester did to Tottenham. Manchester United making 9 changes. Paul Pogba back for the Reds.
Thanks very much to Stuart, and welcome to both Joe Thompson and Wes Brown, my guest here pitch side this evening. Nice to have you, Joe, alongside
No, thank you very much for having me.
As always,
Cheers,
Wes.
man.
Don't want to leave you out either. 9 changes for Manchester United. Are you surprised by that?
No, probably not. You know, we've had a tough couple of results lately, and the manager will be looking to change it. We don't need any more injuries, for example. You know, give the players that have not played a run as well. You know, a couple of injuries coming back. So, I mean, I think that was probably expected. Maybe, you know, we might have seen a few more younger lads come in, but, you know, it's a very, very strong squad from Ollie.
Yeah, it's a big night for Rochdale. We'll look at their team in a moment, but what an occasion.
No, you've hit the nail on the head. What an occasion. You know, I spoke to a few of them yesterday, and they're all looking forward to it. You know, it is the theatre of dreams, and I'm sure they'll be raring to go.
Do you think this is an occasion that will worry them, or one that they'll relish?
No, I think they will relish it. Yeah, nights like this is what you've got to do. You've got to embrace it, you know. The pitch is perfect. You know, get out there and play football and enjoy it.
Well, let's take a look at the teams in more detail that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has picked this evening. Wes, we mentioned the changes, but any surprises for you? Obviously, the good news is that Paul Pogba's back in that starting lineup.
Yeah, Paul Pogba's back. Obviously, it'd be a good run-in to get back full fitness, see how many minutes he does today. But yeah, I think that's a very strong squad. I mean, Greenwood, I think, probably deserves a chance to start as well. He's been excellent when he's come on for the, you know, in the Premier League. And again, the back line's a strong squad. So yeah, very experienced players. You know, these are the sort of games, especially when I was involved, that you can't go into these taking it for granted and you know, just think you can turn up and maybe win 3 or 4-0. This is not one of them games. You know, it is sort of a derby. Rochdale isn't too far, and I'm sure the Rochdale lads will more be up for this game, and they're going to enjoy it with every second. So it's going to be a tough game regardless.
Yeah, a real mix of youth and experience, but you kind of expect that in these games, don't you?
You do. You know, you expect the older ones to navigate them through and get them through, but I think for a younger one, what an opportunity to go and impress and show your manager what you can do.
Well, let's take a look at the Rochdale side as well. Joe, I'm going to let you take this
Yeah.
one. Who should United be wary of?
You know, there's a few players. I think the captain up front, Ian Henderson, you know, he scored 20+ goals for the last 3 seasons, so obviously he's always a threat. He's got an eye for goal, and he does have that knack of being in the right place at the right time. Callum Camps, he started the season really well, scored a few good goals. And Ollie Rathbone as well, really good player. He was originally at Man United. You know, I was with him and played with him when he arrived from Man United, and he's really adapted to League One football and embraced it.
Yeah, it's an interesting challenge for Manchester United. You mentioned, Wes, it is you know, almost a derby, very, very close. And sometimes it's the teams that are a little bit of the unknown. I know they'll have done their preparation, but sometimes the unknown can be dangerous, can't it?
Yeah, I mean, we have to be really professional about this game today. You know, we have to go in there, understand that, yes, we are playing a team that are lower than us in leagues, But this is a team that's going to be raring to go. You know, just the opportunity to play at Old Trafford in themselves, it might never happen again. They're going to be up for it, so we have to be on our toes straight from the off. Yes, we are expected to win, and I hope we do. But at the same time, I don't think, especially for the first 20 minutes, it's not going to be expected. You know, they're going to put in a tough performance.
Yeah, and top performances from both sides as well, because the expectation is on Manchester United tonight.
Of course, you know, and from Rochdale's point of view, it's a free hit in a way. You know, they really will want to go out there and show what they can do, because they are professional footballers. They do the right things day in, day out, and they want to pick their wits up against the top boys.
Yeah, the right back as well, 16 years old tonight.
Yes,
it's a
Luke,
huge game for him.
No, massive. You know, I was in at his school today doing some work with Trinity, and what a journey Luke's been on. You know, he made his debut, I think, probably a year ago, and now he's at Manchester United, playing, and a wonderful opportunity to go out there and show what he can do as well.
Yeah, a bit of a fairy tale, I suppose, for him.
I know, incredible. You know, that schoolboy dream to get out and play at Old Trafford, and he's done it at the rare age. I think he's 17 now.
Amazing. OK, let's hear from Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. He's speaking to Stuart about his team selection tonight.
Well, Ollie, obviously 9 changes from the weekend. Can you just tell us a bit about the lineup? Because one name obviously stands out, particularly in Paul Pogba.
Yeah, it's good that he's had a couple of days training and he needs a game to further his recovery, and hopefully then he'll be ready for Arsenal at Monday. So, but let's see how he does today.
Obviously a mix of youth and experience, a little bit like Astana, I guess, the lineup.
Yeah, we need to rotate, we need to give players minutes and to give players a chance to stake a claim for the league team, and the proper when the competition comes, we all have players who are ready and available.
A couple of players you might have expected to see tonight, Angel and also Delo. Is there any news about why they're not involved?
Yeah, they're injured, so they weren't fit to. They haven't trained the last couple of days, unfortunately. So hopefully they can be back for Alkmaar next week. That's what we hope anyway.
Obviously Marcus not involved either, but is there any news at all on his injury?
No, he's recovering. It's not very, very bad, so we hope to see him before the international break.
It's quite tricky sometimes playing opponents who've got nothing to lose. I mean, they can come here and relax in many ways, but what are you expecting from the League One side?
We've watched them a few times here now, and it's a team that's got a clear identity. They want to play football, and it's a question of, do they stick to the principles and play? Then it'll be a very open and entertaining game, I'm sure, because we want to enjoy it as well. I want players to express themselves, enjoy themselves, play with a smile on their faces, and show that we can bounce back from difficult results before.
This is the only trophy you've never won, actually, in your glittering career. Is this the one?
Yeah,
is this the one for you?
Yeah, that's the one. We couldn't get a win in this cup when I played, so it wouldn't be too bad to do it as a manager.
Hope it goes well. Thank you. Cheers. See you later.
Thoughts of Ollie, who wants the players to express themselves tonight, and that's what these games should be all about.
Definitely, you know, and I touched on it before, it's a wonderful opportunity for some of those players to go and show him what they can do. You know, and try and stake a claim for a first team place.
Yeah, bit of team news there as well, Wes, in terms of Marcus Rashford, who he says is not too bad.
Yeah. Well, that's good.
Good news?
That's definitely good news, because we need him to stay fit. Hopefully it'll just be a little knock. I can understand him completely not playing in the squad today. There's no point chancing it. Obviously we've got some important games coming up, so listen, with these players there that can take over and obviously have a good opportunity now to show the manager what they've got.
Yeah, how concerned do you think Ollie will have been with recent performances and results?
Yeah, obviously the results have not gone our way. I mean, I've watched most of the games, probably every minute of every game, so I mean, it's there. There has been chances there. There's times when we could have took the lead and had the opportunity to, but it's not quite fallen for us yet, you know. And you know, obviously there's a lot of stick that comes with that, and obviously the results that's shown. And listen, this is Manchester United. That's always going to happen. But the players have to sort of put that at the back of their minds, you know, just forget about it. Do what they're doing in training every day. Listen to the manager and coaches, and just get on with it. You know, we've got talented players there.
Yeah. OK, well, let's hear the thoughts of the fans. Hopefully they'll be in fine voice this evening, and Steve Bennett's been catching up with some of them.
Welcome back to the International Suite, where we're joined by another young fan, Dominic. Dominic, you've seen the team news today. What do you think about how United are lining up?
I think it'll be very strong, yes.
It looks like it is another youthful side, so Ollie's sending a message that it's a good opportunity for these young players to get minutes.
Yeah, it could be a great match.
Some of the players that are starting, Tahith Chong, Mason Greenwood, are you excited to see those guys in action?
I'd like to see them, yeah. It'd be pretty.
And it's a good thing that Mason Greenwood's recovered from the weekend because he didn't feature at West Ham. So do you hope to maybe see him score another goal today?
Yeah, it could be quite a good game, really.
Captain today, Axel Tuanzebe. He holds the armband. Think that's a good thing for him?
I think it could be good, yes, definitely.
And what do you think score-wise today then? So third round of the Carabao Cup, taking on Rochdale. What do you think the score's going to be?
Hopefully we will win, but it might be quite a close game between the scores.
When it comes to cup games, do you think it's just important to get the win rather than the performance?
Yeah, personally I do.
Because it's not like the league, is it? It's not like we're fighting for 3 points. It's just a case of winning the game and getting through, isn't it?
Yes, definitely.
So what do you think is going to happen score-wise? What do you think is going to happen today?
It could be like 3-0, but we could go down.
And who do you think is going to score for United? Who have you got your eye on to get the first goals?
I've got a feeling Rashford could get a goal in there.
Well, Rashford isn't playing today, so do you reckon it could be Greenwood or maybe Chong, one of the young lads?
Yeah, it could be one of the younger players.
OK, so those are the views of young Dominic here in the international suite. Now, this week we've been catching up with a player who again started his career here at United and then transferred to Rochdale. Ollie Rathbone, here's what he had to say.
Before moving to Rochdale in the summer of 2016, Ollie Rathbone spent 8 years at Manchester United's academy, having joined the Reds at 11 years old, an experience that he looks back on with fond memories.
It was an incredible experience, a very humbling experience for me and my family. I think when I was younger playing Sunday League, I played Sunday League for quite a while, so I had a couple of academy choices to choose from. But as soon as Manchester United was an option, there was no decision to be made for me and my family. It was quite a commitment being from Blackburn, having to drive over there, but it was worth it, and it's an experience I look back on with great memories. When I was younger, about 14, 15, I went to Qatar on a trip with the boys, which is incredible opportunity. But then when I look back at the times now, it's just all the great times I made with all the wonderful members of staff, all my great colleagues and players that I got to play with, and just great times being a young lad playing football with all your good friends.
One of his most memorable moments in a United shirt came in an under-18s match away at Derby County.
I remember, I think I was definitely sub. Paul McGuinness had made a couple of changes. It was 0-0 at the time. And then I think one lad got cramp or something, so I came on like 88th minute. I think a corner came in, I had a free header, missed. So I thought, wow, just came on, that was my chance to win. And the balls just fell perfectly, I controlled it out the air, it just bounced wonderfully. And I think maybe I was a bit frustrated not coming on earlier, so I've just taken it all out, put all my power into it, and yeah, it's gone in. It was that was an amazing moment. And when I think back on amazing memories that I made there, that was definitely up there with the highlights, yeah.
The strike was also voted Goal of the Month for February that season, beating first-team goals from Ander Herrera and Daley Blind.
Yeah, it was crazy. Obviously, we're all just in the youth team, all in our little bubble, and then to realise you've won Goal of the Month for the whole club, voted for fans around the world, it was amazing, yeah.
Rochdale face United in the EFL Cup this week at Old Trafford, and Rathbone has good memories of playing at the Theatre of Dreams in the FA Youth Cup against Hull.
Surreal again. I remember thinking, wow, this pitch is big. I think I came on again in that game and Bury in the previous round. And yeah, you just think, wow, all the amazing players that have played on this pitch, all the history, it's an incredible place.
And the midfielder is looking forward to returning to the ground as a Dale player.
Yeah, amazing. I've been here 3 years now. I love the club, love all the players, the staff. It's an amazing place to play your football. So to go back with a club I love so much, and a club to go and play a club that I've got so many fond memories at, so many friends there, it'll be an amazing day for me.
Ollie was part of the United Academy alongside first-team players Marcus Rashford and Axel Tuanzebe. And he's not surprised to see his former teammates playing at the highest level each week.
I think there's been loads of players that have come through the United Academy that you all think, oh, they could have a chance, but it's just maybe they've not always had that pathway or that look that you sometimes need. But it's an amazing feeling watching at home and these lads that you've grown up with playing on really quiet nights where there's not many fans playing. Now they're playing in the pinnacle of world football. It's amazing to see. I'm always very proud of them, yeah.
And he's looking forward to walking out at Old Trafford once again on Wednesday evening.
Oh, it'd be incredible, yeah. So it's always obviously been my dream to play at Old Trafford. I spent lots of years at the club trying to aiming. That was always the end goal. Obviously, my path has taken me elsewhere, which is great, amazing learning curve it's been here. So to get back there with this team will be very special. It's really funny, I was with Scott McTominay, who's a really close friend of mine. I was with him round at his house on the day of the draw, and we were just kind of it was unbelievable. We were just laughing about, imagine if we got Jordan together tonight. We just thought it was surreal. And then that night, I was preoccupied doing something else. I just looked at my phone and he was FaceTiming with me, and I thought, oh wow, it's happened, and he was just giggling. So yeah, it'd be amazing. Yeah, amazing, yeah.
Well, we'll come back to talking about Ollie Rathbone in a moment, but Lou Macari has joined us. Nice to see you, Lou.
Thanks, Mandy.
What do you make of the team tonight?
It was never going to be full strength, but Ollie's, I think, is mindful of the fact that we need to win. We need to get far as we can in this cup competition, and I think it's fair to say he's put out a reasonably strong side. Not the full strength side, but a bit stronger than I thought it might be.
Yeah, we were talking to Joe earlier about how Rochdale will approach tonight as well. A massive occasion for them, but also a massive occasion for the younger Manchester United players as well, because as you say, they want to stay in this competition as long as they can.
Well, nothing's changed with young players, Mandy. You get your chance, and when that opportunity comes along, you either take it or you don't take it. Go back to 92, those lads that come in and got the chance, they all took it, as we know. Before that, there's been, go back to Sammy McIlroy here, when he came in, there was George Best and people like that in front of Sammy. But if he was good enough, he eventually was going to get a game, and he got a game and he played in the team. So it's simple with the younger players. If you're good enough and you take your chance when it comes along, you'll get in the team.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you may have heard a little cheer. That was the Rochdale fans, because the Rochdale players are coming out beside us, behind us, as you see. But interesting to hear from Ollie Rathbone there, Joe. Yeah. And I think you're just about to see some of your old mates. Yeah. Interesting to hear Ollie there, because he spoke this week about the fact that joining Rochdale was the best decision he ever made. But it must be a tough decision. When you leave Manchester United, you must have that moment of thinking, there is life after United.
You know what? You know, it is a tough decision, and at the end of the day, he did make that decision. And it's the best club, or one of the best clubs in the world. So for him to go and play his trade lower down the league was a brave decision, but I think it served him well. Yeah.
Will he be one to watch?
Definitely, yeah. Bags of energy in midfield, and make sure everyone knows that he's playing as well. He's very good on the ball, and he's got an eye for goal as well.
Yeah. Scott McTominay's best mate, I believe, as well, so they were FaceTiming each other after the draw was made. Interesting, though, to see just, Wes, over your time, you must have seen players come and go at the club, ones that haven't quite made it, and it must be tough when you're friends with them in the dressing room as well.
Yeah, many players, especially the younger lads, you know, maybe they don't get signed on around 17, 18, 19. And like we were just talking there, he's been, you know, very brave there to obviously go and try some at a different club, a lower league, and you know, get in the team, because a lot of lads, they just fade out, you know, they don't, the drive's gone, for instance, and you don't see them again. Even though they've been at United maybe from 10, 11, 12, and you know, it's something that, you know, I don't like seeing, but I've seen it many times before.
Yeah. Okay, well, Lou, thanks for joining us. We'll see you.
Getting rid of me already?
You can stick around if you want.
That's terrible, isn't it? Just
one question, Lou.
I thought you had places to be. No?
I have, but I can last another 2 minutes.
How to insult a United legend, eh? Well, we might see Lou in a minute, but we might not, because we're about to see a nice piece with Joe, because obviously you may know that Joe was obviously here, moved to Rochdale. I think he'd agree it was one of the best decisions he made as well, but had a few tough times through his career as well, and Danny Webber's been to see him.
Joe, at the age of 23, you were on loan at Tranmere and you were diagnosed with Hodgkin lymphoma.
Yeah.
You know, firstly, you know, how did that feel, and how did you find out?
Yeah, it's a tough one to kind of put into words, but for me the shock was the massive thing. 23, my little girl was just 1, so I was a kind of new dad, and I'd moved to Tranmere and everything was new. So I felt like at the time, I was just tired, I felt like. Okay. And then once the doctor diagnosed me, after some lumps popped up at the side of my lymph nodes and left-hand side of my neck.
So was that the first physical sign that you saw?
No, when I look back, there was loads of signs. I was suffering from night sweats, which is a massive telltale sign, and that's like, I'd wake up in the morning and the bed would be like literally saturated. I thought I just had a fever of some sort. But once you have a few you start to think that there might be something wrong. I originally thought it could be glandular fever, so I spoke to the club doctor and said this is like what I'm experiencing. And then I had a night where I had like real shortness of breath, and I felt like I was being strangled in a way by like a snake, you know, when it like wraps around, and I felt like it was there. Obviously physically there was nothing there, but I thought, am I having a panic attack? So I then reported that, and then that's when he said, you know what, we're gonna whip you off for a biopsy, because I've been struggling to get my arm up for like headers or across someone, and I kept on getting like a sharp pain from the left hand side of my neck towards my heart. So I was like, there's definitely something wrong, but I didn't obviously really comprehend the situation when the doctor did finally diagnose me a few days later.
And how long did it take? So how long did your treatment last, and you know, what was it, the moment after your first episode, what was the moment like when you were seen clear and
put into remission? 6 months of chemotherapy. Every 2 weeks I was going to have to go in, and I would stay in on a Monday, and if I was able to go home on the Monday night, brilliant, but if not I would stay overnight at the Christie. And didn't have a clue what chemotherapy was, didn't know what it entailed, and it was horrible physically. It was
painful
at times, especially as the treatment goes on. Quite, they call it vein pain, and I was having it through cannulas, but in the end my veins kind of packed in, so I had to have what's called a PICC line put in my arm, and that's basically to get to a bigger artery. And yeah, it was not nice, but I dealt with it quite well. I think football and playing football helped me massively, physically wise anyway. I was stronger and probably, I'd say, better able to deal with it in a way.
Having gone through obviously your first experience, the second time you were diagnosed with it, did you pick up the signs a lot quicker, and you know, at what period of time was it between the two?
No, so after first being put into remission, I signed at Bury, and then I moved on to Carlisle the following year. And at Carlisle, after about 6 months, I felt physically back to where I was.
Back to your physical fitness, as in like bone fitness.
And for me it was getting round and like getting it drilled into my head, trust your body again. To tell me I'd had it for 3 years, it really did knock my confidence in my body. And then I returned back to Rochdale, and that for me was a risk because I'd done so well the first time round.
So you returned permanently?
Yeah. Okay. I remember it was Christmas Eve. The doctor said, you know, we've had routine scans, which I was having as follow-up checkups from the hospital. And it was my last scan, and they just noticed something different had popped up. And then he told me that there was one tumour. It was of the same cancer, but it had come back, and it was showing quite aggressive signs of spreading. But then there was a period in between where I played on, and that was tough, you know.
So once you'd received the news, you played on.
We're going to wait and see. We don't want to hit you with a load of chemotherapy straight away. There's going to be a wait and see. So I felt like a sitting duck.
And what sort of period was that? How long did you have to wait?
4 months in the end it was. I finished. We were playing away at MK Dons, and the game just passed me by. I felt like I was in slow motion.
Was everybody aware of it at the club?
They were. Kept it all in house. You know, our business to a certain degree, but I'm going to keep playing on. I'm going to try and get myself in the best physical condition for when the doctors do ring and say we need to start with the treatment.
I think from the outside in, there was, you know, 2 moments stick out for me of you know, having succeeded on your journey. You know, first and foremost, when you walked out of Wembley. and then obviously, you know, explain when you scored the goal that kept Rochdale up and so on. I mean, that from the outset, and I felt the emotion of that.
I think everybody did. I think everybody within football does know my story. I totally forgot that the game was being televised. And after 65 minutes, I was on the bench, and I was a bit miffed off that I was on the bench because you want to go out there and affect it, and it was either us or Oldham that got relegated. So I wanted to be in control of my destiny, but also our destiny.
Yeah.
So for me to live out that moment was my present to the lads and to the club for supporting me and sticking by me. And yeah, it was kind of the ultimate survival story, and I had survived cancer not once but twice. And football is a game, and it's a game that everybody loves, but I think the emotion that day obviously was transmitted and everybody saw it on the TV, and for anybody that was in the ground, they understood what had been achieved, and for me to just live it out was just a proud moment for my family.
Yeah.
All the sacrifice and the hard work that I had put in, it come to fruition, and for me to live out that moment, it was clarity and peace in a way.
Yeah. Well, from the outside in, we felt the emotion, and it was written in the stars, man.
Yeah, some say, we'll get to Hollywood one day, maybe.
Yeah.
Background for those of you that don't know Joe's story, and Joe, a real inspirational tale. Does it make you quite emotional, kind of looking back to those times when you were chatting with Danny?
Yeah, it can do. I'm often surprised by what people ask, and sometimes they will throw a little curveball that I've maybe not said to myself, but yeah, it does make me quite emotional.
Yeah, must be an incredible feeling when you finally got the all clear.
Relief, to say the least. Yeah. You're in the moment, and I probably didn't process it there and then, it didn't sink in, but I think for me and my family, relief was the overriding feeling.
Yeah, I don't think anyone could probably imagine what you were going through, but then to come back as well, I've known you for a long time, my brother, some of my family, was extraordinary. I always remember watching that last game, like you've just talked about there, Rochdale against Oldham, where you come on and score the winner. What did that feel like? Because I was absolutely buzzing and I wasn't there.
I think when I look back at it now, it was like, when you're truly content with something. I'd reached the mountaintop in a way. All the hard work that I'd put in behind closed doors, with the coaches, all the rehab with the physio. I couldn't walk when I left the hospital. So for me to score that after 9 months of coming out of the hospital, it was an amazing feeling, an incredible moment that I'll forever cherish.
Must have been such hard work. Wes, you know what it's like to come back from injuries as well. To come back from that,
I think this is different,
it's just incredible, isn't it?
I think it's a little bit different. Even especially the second time, even to think about coming back, this is life-threatening. It's not an injury that you've done to your knee. You might not maybe play again because you can't walk. This is life-threatening. So, it's remarkable basically what you've done. And even to this day, I know you do lots of stuff for charities and go into schools and speak to the kids, and it's really good to see.
No, I do, and you know what? I think I understand the power of the story. So it did take a little bit of time to, think it over and go through it and think, am I willing to open up and be honest about the situation? But I know every time I'm doing it, I'm helping someone, and I'm also raising awareness.
Yeah, brilliant, yeah.
No, it's fantastic, and it's great to have you with us tonight as well. Talking about your Rochdale side, they came out as early as they could to start their warm-up tonight, but I guess in this situation you want to soak up all the atmosphere.
Definitely, and I'm sure a lot of them would have got to bed nice and early, meet the coach nice and early, and they'll just be ready and raring to go. They probably can't wait for the whistle and to get out there and really get in amongst it.
How do you rate their chances this evening?
It's a football game, 90 minutes, 11v11, and it's a cup game. We saw with Colchester last night, anything can happen, and I think they will have taken a lot of confidence from that. Even though we will say it should be a formality, United should win, you never ever know.
Yeah, and that's what United have to guard against, because I was looking back to this time last year where it's exactly a year since Manchester United were knocked out by Derby, and we don't want that to happen again.
Yeah, this is not the time to get complacent. This is where we have to be professional. We've got great players here, international players, that should win the game, like Joe has said. but it's not going to be easy. I mean, these lads, like you said, he was out, what, 6-7 minutes early, warming up. You could see the smiles, they were all shouting stuff. I mean, they'll be in the changing room, proper revving each other up here, saying, listen, we've got a good chance. We've got a good chance to win here, so if we give it everything, you never know. And football, you know, there's so many surprises.
Yeah. You obviously started your career here. What have you made of what's gone on at United in the past few years?
I think, you know, when we was both here, we understood Sir Alex Ferguson was massive to this club. And what the lads did, particularly Wes and a few others, was incredible. It's kind of a one-off. So I think it is taking time to adjust, a bit of a reality check and coming down to earth, but it's football, you know, things will turn if you keep doing the right things.
Yeah. And on that note, let's go and hear from Sam, who's with some of the fans in the Warwick Suite.
Thanks, Mandy. I'm in the Warwick Suite now with Mickey Thomas. Mickey, it's a much stronger lineup than we were expecting. What have you made of it?
Well, after last night's results, there's some shock results. I think it's important that we put a strong 11 out and win the game. You know, get back on track and get the fans obviously excited with the performance.
Yep. Do you think Solskjaer would have looked at those results? Do you think Solskjaer would have looked at those results and maybe changed his team? Or do you think it was always going to be a very strong team?
I think so. We're going to be a strong team. You know, last night's results showed that Tottenham had a very strong 11 and got beat by Cod. So you have to be aware Rochdale will be up for this game. It's their cup final. They'll give everything. But we get a couple of early goals. I think we can win the game quite comfortable.
Axel Tuanzebe has captained Manchester United at every age group bar the first team. Today, he will captain the first 11. What do you think that will mean to him?
That's a massive. I mean, he's always wanted that from a very young age. He got the opportunity tonight, and we're at home, and a winning victory would be fantastic for him.
Is he a player that's impressed you of what you've seen of him so far?
Well, I think everyone's obviously going for a first-team regular spot. I mean, he's a great player, there's no question about that. He's got the potential to be a top captain. Let's see how he performs tonight.
And another chance for Mason Greenwood to get some goals, still only 17 years old. Do you think there's much pressure on him this evening?
No, he's a natural goal scorer. You know, he's done it through the youth system. He's got an opportunity again tonight. I'm sure he'll find the back of net. I really believe we get a couple of early goals, we can win this game quite handsomely.
OK, looking forward to the game. How important is it that this team put in a good performance if they want to have a good cup run?
Well, I think it's always for confidence. Winning football games brings that to you. Without doubt, there's been one or two changes, one or two youngsters in the side tonight, but we have to win the game. We're at home in front of a decent crowd tonight. You know, this is Manchester United against Rochdale. We want to win this game and win it quite comfortable.
If you were going to put your money on a score prediction, where would it go?
I'm going for a high score. I'm going for at least 5 goals tonight. I really am. I'm confident we can do that.
Would you have done so if you'd seen a team that you were expecting, maybe more of the younger players?
Well, I think youngsters will obviously want to impress, so they'll give everything anyway. But it's about the 11 tonight performing. You know, we want to get off. We're at Old Trafford. I'm confident we will get a good result. Whatever the team is out tonight, we will win this game anyway.
And do you think this is a cup competition that United should be looking at to win and we should be taking increasingly seriously?
Every competition you take seriously. You want to win every cup. You go in it to win it. You know, it's the start of a campaign now in this we're at home. You know, we might get another easy draw next round. Yeah, let's win tonight's game and see where it takes us.
OK, Mickey, thank you very much. Right, we're now going to have a look at part 2 of that Angel Gomez interview.
Rochdale up next. Of course, we played Rotherham, didn't we, early in the season? Did that give you a lot of confidence you can handle the physical aspect against a team like that?
Yeah, of course. They were the League One side, tough. They're a tough team, physical, but that's part of the game anyway. Every team I'm going to play against is going to be physical. It's a given. So I don't really take that into consideration, but we'll just try and play our football. We'll try and attack as much as possible and try and show our strengths.
We know they're quite a good footballing team, aren't they, Rochdale? I'm sure you've seen on social media one of the goals they scored recently against Southend, a great passing move. That might suit us, though, in some respects. They come here to play football.
Yeah, of course. They'll come all guns blazing, I'd imagine. It's a big game for them. They've not played Man United. I've seen something. They've not played United in a long time. One of the players that play there, ex-United player, Ollie Rathbone, that I grew up watching. He was two or three age groups above me, and I know him quite well, and hopefully he'll play, so I'll be able to play against him.
Ollie's doing well, isn't he, for the team? He's been playing a couple of seasons regularly now for Rochdale.
Yeah, when he left here, he went to Rochdale and just kicked on from there, really. Signed a new contract as well, and yeah, he's just been progressing, really.
And is he a good lad as well? I remember him around the place, him and his dad worked it, didn't they?
Yeah, Ollie's a good lad. He's a good laugh. All the lads here will tell you that. Always brought good energy, and he was a top player as well.
I remember one great goal he scored, a long-range lob as well, so he's got that in his locker, hasn't he?
Yeah, so I'll try and tell the keepers to stay on the line whenever he's got the ball.
And in terms of the League Cup, we know it's a tournament that young players have thrived in the past, so you're hoping to follow in those footsteps, really?
Yeah, of course. Growing up at United, winning trophies is all the club knows, really, so we'll just try and emulate that and try and get as far down the line as possible.
Is it too early to think about going that far in the competition, though? Obviously, it's only the first game, isn't it?
No, not really. I think you've got to set standards, you've got to have the winning mentality, so I think the higher the standards we set, the harder we can work towards trying to achieve them.
And do you think Rochdale will defend for their lives, like you say, perhaps like Astana in some respects, it will be difficult to break down?
Yeah, of course, they'll have their game plan. I can't really assume how they're going to play, but we can work towards how they're going to play and see if we can try and take little advantages and try and exploit their weaknesses.
I think they're bringing 5,500 fans, so they're going to have a good atmosphere for New Wayne. But our fans, I thought, were pretty good against Astana as well, the singing section there.
Yeah, of course, it's always loud at Old Trafford, and it'll obviously be good for them to bring quite a lot of their fans. It'll create a good buzz, a good atmosphere.
Well, Angel getting his first competitive start was against Astana. How did you rate his performance that night?
So,
how did you rate his performance against Astana last week?
Excellent. Strong. Pre-season he was fantastic. I thought he was one of the best players out there. A little bit unlucky in that sense that obviously we buy Harry Maguire, who obviously you play. But at the same time, I think it's brilliant that he's getting another chance now.
Yeah, it's interesting because I guess when you're a young player, Joe, the confidence only comes with the more games you play and the more you're involved around the first team squad.
It does, and it starts with training with the first team initially and showing that you're good enough, and then, like you say, to get the opportunity to showcase what you're about is magnificent.
Is it important as well, Wes, for the older players and the more experienced ones to kind of guide you through when you're a young kid?
It is, especially in the more harder times. It's nice for them to say, good things towards you, keep it going. Even if maybe you did do a bad pass, yes, it's not what you want. But if you see they are a little bit down, you've got to give them the confidence and keep them there. We've all been in that situation, and I'm sure that the lads, the more senior players, will do that today.
Yeah, Wan-Bassaka might not have thought he would start tonight, but he's in the starting lineup. Have you been impressed by him so far?
Fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Settled straight in, been absolutely no problems. Some of the best tackling I've seen for a while. So yeah, that position tonight will not be a problem. He'll be fine there.
Yeah, you've been impressed?
Yeah, great signing, came for a lot of money and he's gone about his business, like you say. Like nothing's changed, he's really adapted to the new environment, and it's a massive club, and he's gone out and he's showcased what he's about as well.
Yeah, that's been a positive, hasn't it, for United this season, that the 3 new signings coming in have all seemed to settle in like they've been at the club for a while.
No, definitely, and that's what you want as a new signing, and your manager, that's what he wants to see. If you can gel with your teammates as soon as possible and understand the way that the manager wants to play, that's what it's all about.
Yeah. Well, let's turn our attentions now to Axel Tuanzebe, and he knows the town of Rochdale very well, having grown up there. He's got fond memories of Rochdale and is looking forward to facing them tonight as Manchester United captain.
So Axel, Rochdale coming up in the League Cup, and we're speaking to you because you know a lot about the place. Can you tell us about growing up there?
Yeah, I'd say it was a tight neighbourhood, especially where I was anyway. It's just mixed up of group of friends. You came together, and we just loved to play football. It's a friendly neighbourhood, positive vibes. So yeah, there's only good memories when I think of Rochdale.
So how old were you when you signed for United?
8 years old. Started in my development centre. Still remember the place in Siddlemore. Haywood. And then the next thing was academy and under-9s at the Cliff. You know, it's just memories that you take home with you, and you'd always remember them because they were such fun times. And it was like, now more football's based on, the older you get, it's more tactical work and stuff, but them times were just purely enjoying the game, you know, just run around and show what you got, you know, best skills of the day and stuff. So it was amazing, it was amazing.
But you were always a defender, weren't you?
Yeah, but that didn't stop me from you know, joining in with the other lads and, you know, taking the ball forward, dribbling and stuff. Because when you're young, you always want to be scoring goals and showing off, you'd say.
And does it help? You're not the only young player trying to break through. We've got a group, haven't we, trying to get inside?
Yeah. Again, it just shows how much the manager, Ollie, loves to progress young talent. I think he's seen the system enough to understand its importance. Yeah, so it's just good, and hopefully all the lads can display their talent and skill.
And is it a case of just getting a chance for young players, really, isn't it? The way the Premier League is now, it's just important that when you do get a chance, you take it, but to get that opportunity in the first place is something in itself, isn't it?
Yeah, the opportunity is massive, but then it's down to you as a player, again, what separates the good from the best, to deal with that pressure and to perform when you need it, because to drop points is massive in this league, and it's quite hard to kind of regain them points again.
Just the League Cup in particular, obviously we didn't go too far in the competition last year. Important to go further this year, and a home game is all we could ask for, really, isn't it?
Yeah. Again, having such a young squad, it wouldn't be something bad to really aim and focus on to win. Again, every competition we enter, we want to win. So, what's the point in dismissing this opportunity of winning the trophy? Again, we're at a phase of rebuilding the club. So it'll just look good and be good for the players to win something, you know.
And you've always been very good on the ball. It seems that's the way it's going at the moment, isn't it? Centre backs to be good at bringing the ball out.
Yeah. Again, it's back to the early days when you just want to show your skill when you're a young player, and I've always carried that in my game. I've always thought to be a footballer, you have to be able to play with the ball, first of all. So I've always wanted to improve my ability with the ball.
And just finally, what do you think the season has in store for you personally and for United as a whole?
Firstly, for United, I think we could just think positive and try aim as high as we can. Definitely try to qualify for Champions League. Try to get a trophy in the bank as well. And for me personally, just again being a regular team player. Being able to perform week in, week out for the team and develop myself as a person and as a player.
Well, Axel Tuanzebe seeming to be wise beyond his years, but he's captain Manchester United at every level, which is a great thing for him, and to do it here tonight, he must be a very proud man. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, like you've said, he's done it at every level. Obviously, Ollie sees something in him there that it's worth giving him his captaincy armband. I mean, he could have chose quite a few. So to choose Axel, you know, he's well played to him, and hopefully he does really well today because it's a big honour. Yeah, he's just interesting to see a young player come through and have those leadership skills, because there are plenty of other players in the side tonight who could have got the captain's armband, aren't there?
Of course, but like Wes said before, then he's obviously shows the characteristics and the traits of being a leader. You just looked at him then physically, you know, an athlete, real presence about him, and I'm sure he'll want to really impress and have a commanding performance at the back. How much do you think it's helped him going away and having that loan spell at Villa? I think you learn to appreciate what you've got when you go back to Man United. I remember when I got released, I always played on the wing, and I remember, there's no lie, I looked at when I first played at a Rochdale game, and I thought to myself, what has the groundsman been doing here? The line was all over the place, the pitch wasn't the best, but you've got to learn to adapt, and I think Aston Villa, a great club to go and kind of play your trade, but there's nothing quite like Man United. Yeah, when he captains the side tonight, a proud moment for him. Where's your final thoughts? How do you see tonight going? Yeah, I mean, we have to go out real focused.
you know, the longer this game goes on 0-0, the better it is for Rochdale. So we have to be very focused and go by a very professional performance.
Yeah, you agree? Tough night.
Totally. I think, you know, the tone has to be set from the start. And like I said, the longer it goes 0-0, you never ever know. It could be just one chance, and it could be 1-0 either way.
That's you both for the moment. We'll be back at half-time, looking back at the first half, but we'll be handing over to Stuart and Paddy very shortly. But first of all, let's just remind you of the team lineup.
Number 22, Sergio Romero. Number 29, Aaron Wan-Bassaka. Number 38, Axel Tuanzebe. Number 4, Phil Jones. Number 16, Marcus Rojo. Number 17, Fred. Number 6, Paul Pogba. Number 15, Andreas Pereira. Number 14, Jesse Lingard. Number 44, Taith Chong. Number 26, Mason Greenwood.
So this is how we expect United's formation to line up, with Greenwood leading the line, supported by Lingard, Pereira and Chong. And Patty, it's great to see the name of Paul Pogba back in midfield.
I'm such a big fan of Paul's, and I think he's such an important player for Manchester United. But you know, football's crazy, Stuart. Did you watch Tottenham Hotspur last night? Could you believe it?
Well, that's a warning, isn't it? But you'd hope that United side is strong enough to do the job.
Well, you'd hope they were watching that game last night as well and might be thinking to themselves, God almighty, if it can happen to Tottenham, it can happen to anybody. Nothing to lose, Rochdale, nothing whatsoever to lose. There'll be lads coming out of here to enjoy their night out, playing at Old Trafford. One or two might have played beer here before, but none of the rest of them would have been. The fans will be here to enjoy the night. I'm sure they'll make plenty of noise. United have just got to concentrate on what they've got to do, Stuart, and that's important.
What about the 21-year-old captain, Axel Tuanzebe, because Hales grew up in Rochdale? Great night for him.
It must be fantastic. I'm sure his family are here. I'm sure his family will be supporting him and not Rochdale. But then again, you've always got an alliance or an allegiance to a team from the city that you come from. I don't know where you come from.
Not Rochdale.
But you always have an allegiance for that team anyway. And I'm sure he will have to a certain game, but he must forget about that and concentrate on what he's doing for United. Because, Stuart, you've got players out there, they want to impress the manager or they want to stay in the United team.
All right, let's go just downstairs to the press room here in the Sir Bobby Charlton stand and see who Sam's talking to.
I'm now with Simon Peach, who covers Man United for the P8. Simon, what are your expectations of this game?
I'm kind of looking forward to it. I know these kind of games at this stage aren't that, people don't get that enthused about it, but Axel Tuanzebe being captain is really interesting. There's another chance to see the kids. I'm really looking forward to seeing Mason Greenwood, and Rochdale will be up for it. It's a really big occasion for them, so hopefully it's a good occasion.
Most of the people I've spoken to have been surprised by how strong this starting lineup is. Are you surprised by it?
A little, I guess. We've obviously seen the rotation that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's preferring in the cup competitions at this stage, and it's a chance for people like Phil Jones and Pereira and people like that to really stake their claim, and Paul Pogba to get some minutes under his belt ahead at Arsenal.
Obviously, you're a journalist covering Manchester United, but do you know much about Rochdale?
I know enough to get by. Yeah. No, look, we've seen Rochdale have some cup exploits over the years, so they shouldn't be taken for granted, and it sounds they're going to be cheered on by about 5,000-6,000 away fans. So this is a big occasion. It's their first trip here. I think it's 35 years or something like that.
I think 86.
Yeah, a number of years.
Yes.
So this is a big opportunity for them, and they've got some young players. I believe one of the players on the bench is only 15. So this is yeah, you could see some stars in the making on their side as well.
A very big day for him. And of course, Paul Pogba starts again for Manchester United. Do you think he'll have a huge influence on this game, or would you expect less, given that he has been out injured?
That's an interesting one. I mean, look, he hasn't played for 25 days since he got that ankle issue at Southampton, which we all thought was rather innocuous, but obviously it's kept him out for a while. It's a chance, as I said, to get some minutes under his belt. He should run a game like this. He's got the talent to absolutely dominate this match, and it'll be really interesting to see whether he does play in third gear and just use this as a chance to build up freshness, or whether he does go and attack it. And if he does, I would be worried if I was a Rochdale player.
And of course, another chance for Mason Greenwood to have a go at first team football. How impressed have you been with him?
Look, I've loved Mason ever since I saw him in the youth league for United. I thought he was a special talent, and I always thought he was going to step up. The way the striking situation is now, he's got that chance sooner than perhaps I would have thought, or certainly more regularly than I would have thought. But Ole Gunnar Solskjaer loves him. The fans are behind him, and yeah, I think we might see another Mason Greenwood goal tonight.
Would you expect that to continue over the course of the season?
Yeah, look, part of that is the options, letting Alexis and Romelu go. I think both were wise decisions to let them go, but it does leave you short. But it does also give opportunities to people that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer trusts. And I think we'll see the young lads garner a bit more as the season going on. Chong, Gomez, obviously he misses tonight through injury, but he's a great talent. And yeah, it's an exciting time when it comes to the kids at United.
Yeah. You mentioned James Garner. How impressed have you been with him? Because he's someone we talk about a lot, but people won't necessarily have seen.
Yeah, look, people compare him to Michael Carrick. That's quite a big weight to have on your shoulders. I like him. He's technically gifted, he's able, and he's confident in possession. And that's the kind of midfielder that Man United are crying out for.
Okay. Right, thank you, Simon. We're now going to have another look at Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's interview with Stuart in the tunnel.
Well, Ole, obviously 9 changes from the weekend. Can you just tell us a bit about the lineup? Because one name obviously stands out, particularly in Paul Pogba.
Yeah, it's good that he's had a couple of days training and he needs a game to further his recovery, and hopefully then he'll be ready for Arsenal at Monday. So, but let's see how he does today.
Obviously a mix of youth and experience, a little bit like Astana, I guess, the lineup.
Yeah, we need to rotate, we need to give players minutes and to give players a chance to stake a claim for the league team, and the proper when the competition comes, we all have players who are ready and available.
A couple of players you might have expected to see tonight, Angel and also Delo. Is there any news about why they're not involved?
Yeah, they're injured, so they weren't fit to. They haven't trained the last couple of days, unfortunately. So hopefully they can be back for Alkmaar next week. That's what we hope anyway.
Obviously Marcus not involved either, but is there any news at all on his injury?
No, he's recovering. It's not very, very bad, so we hope to see him before the international break.
It's quite tricky sometimes playing opponents who've got nothing to lose. I mean, they can come here and relax in many ways, but what are you expecting from the League One side?
We've watched them a few times here now, and it's a team that's got a clear identity. They want to play football, and it's a question of, do they stick to the principles and play? Then it'll be a very open and entertaining game, I'm sure, because we want to enjoy it as well. I want players to express themselves, enjoy themselves, play with a smile on their faces, and show that we can bounce back from difficult results before.
This is the only trophy you've never won, actually, in your glittering career. Is this the one?
Yeah,
is this the one for you?
Yeah, that's the one. We couldn't get a win in this cup when I played, so it wouldn't be too bad to do it as a manager.
Hope it goes well. Thank you.
Cheers.
See you later. Can you believe that? Ole's never won the league. He's won everything conceivable, but never won the League Cup. But it's a competition well worth winning, because it's done and dusted by the end of February, and you've got silverware straight away.
But the thing down through the years, Stuart, nobody bothered about it all that much, did they? That was Alec Ferguson, God bless him, used to use it to bring younger players in. And I think that's what Ole's done tonight as well, to give them the experience of playing against, I was going to say, teams from a higher rank. You can't say that about Rochdale because they're not in the Premier League or anywhere near it. But it is a local derby to a certain degree, because you'll have loads of there'll be 4,000 or 5,000 Rochdale fans. I would imagine half of them might be United fans, Stuart, as well, to a certain degree. But a big game for them, and a big important game. What did we see last night with Tottenham Hotspur? You never know in football.
Yeah, that was a shock, by the way. That was an incredible shock.
I couldn't believe it, Stuart. I watched the game and I thought, they didn't even bother Tottenham. They never raised the game, not put themselves a bit or anything. They just thought they were going to stroll through it. You can't do that in football. You'll get a kick up the backside.
Well, Rochdale have already got through 2 rounds to reach this far. They demolished Bolton, obviously pretty hapless in round 1, 5-2. They beat Carlisle 2-1 in round 2, and it's worth doing because it will be, even though Old Trafford's not going to be full tonight, this will be a money spinner for a club that aren't exactly flush.
Exactly, and I know the people at Rochdale Action are decent people, but it is for them, Stuart. When you're a club like Rochdale, you look at the fact, well, with the draws made, who do you want to draw? Manchester United, Manchester City, Arsenal, Liverpool. That's who they want to draw. And they've got the draw they wanted. Manchester United, they don't have to travel any distance. They're here. Hopefully there's a bigger crowd than this, and hopefully they'll get a lot of money out of it, Rochdale.
This is obviously a very, very different side to the weekend, but everyone was pretty down in the dumps after the weekend. Can this tie, even though with a very different team, just lift everybody a little bit?
Well, to a certain degree, Stuart, but to be fair to the vast majority of the Manchester United fans that are in here tonight, they're only expecting United to win by 3 or 4. Doesn't work out that way. I've got happened back to Tottenham again. They probably thought the same, their supporters last night. Football's not like that. Sometimes, particularly in cup ties, daft things happen. Dad, could get a player sent off in the first 5 minutes. You know,
well, on that point, at this point of the competition last year against Derby, that's when we went out on penalties. Sergio Romero was sent off, the goalkeeper, and that changed everything. So you're right, daft things can happen in cup ties.
Yeah, especially when you're playing against Lords. I think the most important thing, and sometimes the very difficult thing for teams in the Premier League when they're playing teams from the lower divisions, is to show respect to them. I don't think they do half the time. I think, oh, we'll go out, this is easy. And then you get a kick up the backside.
Paul Pogba is back. Obviously, he missed a few games for United, and I think he probably showed in those games how important he is, because his creativity and his drive were missing. I mean, I don't know whether we'll play the full 90 tonight, but ahead of the Arsenal game here on Monday, how important is it to have him fit?
Without question, Stuart, I think he's the most important player possibly in our team. I think it's important. It's important to keep everybody fit, because in the Premier League now, you can never tell in that league. And Arsenal are one of the strange teams in the Premier League. 1 minute they're up there, the next minute they're down. Strange team to play against. But it's important for United that they get a result tonight to lift everybody.
Now, Axel Tuanzebe is the Manchester United captain, and he is leading out his side against his hometown club. Very, very emotional, I'm sure, for him. He's captained Manchester United throughout all of the youth ranks, and he's captaining again alongside Ian Henderson, 34, Mr. Rochdale, who's been fantastic for them in the last 6 seasons or so. Axel, you've watched him over the years, and you've sort of thought, well, a captain in the making. So cool, so calm, and I suggest this won't be the last time he wears the captain's armband.
Do you know, for one, Stuart, I'm going to agree with you. I think he could eventually be the captain, and I think possibly for the next 10 years, if it does happen.
He's at the heart of the defence with Phil Jones tonight, Rocco at left back, and Aaron Wan-Bassaka slotting in at right back. As you heard from Ollie there, Delo would probably have been playing, but he's picked up a knock. Shame that Angel Gomez has got a knock as well. A couple of the kids on the bench, James Garner, who's been standout for the under-23s this season, as has Brandon Williams at full-back. Well, it would be great if those guys got a chance if United were home and host.
They'll be sitting down there, Stuart, thinking exactly what you're thinking. I hope United are 3 or 4 up at half-time, and we can come on the second half or midway through the second half. They'll be hoping for that. And what a night for them if it did happen.
Here come the teams then. Manchester United against Rochdale in the 3rd round of the League Cup. Manchester United 5 times winners against the side who are 17th in League One. And I suggest, Paddy, an early goal is the most important thing here for Manchester United.
That's what Rochdale will be dreading. That's what Rochdale will be dreading most of all, United getting an early goal. But as I say, you've got a United team that will want to score an early goal. You've got players in there, Stuart, that are not totally full team members, that will want to be full team members, and they'll want to show the manager what they can do. United in a little bit of a strange situation at the moment. We don't have a settled team, we're not getting settled results, so it's a mixture of everything. People will be wanting to stamp their authority, think, well, I want in the team and I want to stamp my authority in the first team as well.
All right, let's join our radio commentary team, shall we, for the first 45 minutes of this 3rd round tie of the League Cup. United, Rochdale, Ben Thornley alongside Dave Stowell as United get their League Cup campaign underway. Now Rashford, shooting chance, has a go! Oh, that's magic!
The right boot to Pereira. Oh, what a goal!
It was Chicharito! The perfect possible start